New consumables for good old tanks. In Update 8.9, the following tanks will receive tungsten shells, improved gunpowder, sandbag, and enhanced sandbag armor. The Tiger P, VK4502A, VK4502B, and the VK7201K. This line gameplay will become more interesting and differ from the E100 line. Okay then, okay. Enhanced Sandbag Armor gives you a 6% increase in total tank hit points. Now, this is the VK90 that has already had it for quite some time. The VK72 that has never had it is currently sitting at 2,756 hit points. So, if we pull out our trusty calculator, we do 2756 and multiply that by 0.06%, and you get 165. Which will mean that if we add 165 to 2756, the VK72 is now going to be sitting at 2,921 hit points in the next update. As well, there are going to be tungsten shells. That is going to make this the highest alpha tier 10 heavy in the game. Currently, the highest alpha is the VK72 at 640, but it's tied with the E100. Well, if you give a vehicle that has 640 damage per shot, and I just want to double check because I'm not 100% sure how much tungsten increases it. Let's go over to our trusty 60 TP. It increases it to 105% to 125%, so that should be about, what, 115%? So that's what we'll add it to. Let's go over to the VK72. So it has 640 alpha. Alright, let's pull up our calculator, 640, and multiply that by 0.15, and that's going to give us 96. Now, if we add 96 to 640, this tank will have 736 average damage per shot with tungsten shells. That is really scary. I don't know what to say. Wargaming did the wrong way of balancing out this vehicle, because I can tell you what my loadout of the VK72 is going to be when this update drops. It's going to be consumables, our adrenaline, and then I'm also going to take away one of my repair kits to have tungsten shells, just like my 60 TP loadout currently, and it works great. So I'll have that as my loadout, and then as well, I'll be running enhanced sandbag armor on my provisions instead of chocolate, which, you know, barely increases much. So then I'll be sitting at almost 3,000 hit points, the same as a mouse. In fact, if you wanted to get it over 3,000 hit points, you could easily run the crappier sandbag armor as well, which gives you 3%. So in total, that would be 0.9%. What is 9% of the VK72 hit point pool? It was 2756. Let's do that really quick. 2756, multiply that by 0.09, and, oh wait, 0.09 need to do, and there you go, 248, so add that to 2756, and you'll have 3,004 hit points. Basically the same hit point pool as a mouse you can have in a VK72 if you ran both sandbag armor. And I wouldn't really suggest that. I mean, I guess you could get rid of improved fuel and the chocolate. It wouldn't be a terrible shout, and I might actually try that out, because that might not be a bad idea. But yeah, 3,000 hit points in the German Super Heavy, plus tungsten shells. Yeah, you can see why I'm a little nervous about this coming into the game. Now, I can definitely say that it will make this a very strong vehicle, but I don't know why Wargaming can't just balance vehicles out. Currently, the VK72 has really bad side-scraping capabilities. I wish that what they would do is just make this little boob here that sticks out on the side stronger. Just make it like 330 thick or something that is really hard to penetrate at a side scrape. And that way, the tank can actually be used as a sort of VK90 pseudo E100 where it's got alpha, but decent side-scraping capabilities. It still has a weak spot, but to pen it, you need to load heat. You can't just, you know, pen it with standard ammunition and at least make it a tricky pen. That's always been my idea. Maybe make the turret a bit stronger as well, because I hate the fact that this is kind of like the Lerva turret. In fact, if you didn't know, this tank is kind of based off of a Lerva. It's supposed to actually weigh less, but weirdly enough, they made it a tier 10. But yeah, this turret is really crappy for tier 10. Like, you can easily penetrate the cheeks, as many of you know, as long as you load premium. I kind of wish that the turret was a bit stronger. That way you could feel a lot more comfortable using it all down. But those are just the changes I would personally make to the VK72. Let's get into a battle it. Just for one battle, why not, right? Could go terrible. You never know. But I can't say that I am super excited for these changes because they just seem too good. I mean, I'm not gonna complain because the VK72 is one of my favorite tanks. Like, I've always loved this vehicle, and I've always tried saying already that it's a pretty decent alternative over the E100 because it actually has turret armor. I mean, sure, the hull's not great, but frontally, it's way better than the E100. If you're on, like, mines, good luck using an E100. You can actually use this tank on Mines Hill. So, I mean, what they're doing, specifically sandbag armor, will help the tank out. But when it comes to, yeah, giving it freaking tungsten shells, yeah, that is not something I'm very, very excited for. Now, 57 heavy just took off 900 hit points because, welcome to World of I'm going to sling heat shells at whatever comes in front of me. But, you know what, the 57 heavy lost a lot more hit points than me, so that really sucks for him. Alright, let's keep on pushing up. We got the 100 in the front, and I'm just going to stay back here. That 50 TP can go right ahead, and well, I doubt that 57 heavy is going to poke anymore because of how much health he's already bled, but there you go. Nice tap into the E100, and let's back up again. Now, this tank does have alpha. I mean, you can see that right here, but imagine when I shot that 57 for the first shot, instead of dealing 640 or whatever I rolled 740. I mean, that would have been absolutely insane. Now, the C100 here is, oh, he's showing me the side of his turret, which means we get another easy tap into his vehicle. Not too bad. We're already up to 1,700 damage. I like alpha. As many of you know, I will always trade alpha over damage per minute. And the ability to absolutely badonk somebody with a vehicle like the VK72 for, well, I was going to say 640, but man, was that a low roll, 546? Won't do that with tungsten shells, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's one thing that I've always really, really liked about alpha is the fact that you can just completely out-trade opponents. Now that 183, not really sure what the guy's planning on doing, but I'm going to try and, wow, no, he's just going to tap my hull right in the front. Well, well, I guess I'll just tap the Yag Tiger. I mean, that's just an easy shot. But yeah, one of the issues with a vehicle like the VK is how much the hull sticks out. I mean, that was definitely my fault, but it does stick out very, very far when you're using the vehicle. I obviously don't want to be shot by this 183, so I'm going to back up a bit, and let's see, well, what do I want to do here? The 183 is trying to shoot me, but yeah, he's not getting away with it. Let me just keep backing up. Maybe I can get a shell into this guy. There you go. Nice tap for 394. And there you have it. Pretty easy game. I mean, nothing crazy at all, but we were able to deal 3,400 damage and come out with a victory. Goodbye, 183. Haha. So, there you go. That's the VK72. Now, just imagine that I had 3,000 hit points. So, at that moment, when I had 900, I would have had about an extra 250, so I would have had over 1,100 hit points. And, as well, when it comes to the damage per shot, I could have used Tungsten there and completely destroyed 750 hit points off of somebody. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I am excited, but very cautious about this. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Some other changes that weren't as reputable. We've got the Bat Shotgun 25 TAP, which is getting an armor buff. I can't imagine it's that important. And as well, it's receiving less HE damage for some reason. The T28, AMX, AC46, SU100M1, T25 AT are all getting hit point buffs. The Predator gets gun stabilization on turret traverse, and as well, it gets its maximum speed reduced. And the Gravedigger gets gun stabilization on turret traverse, and as well, traverse speed is reduced. So it's kind of like buff and nerf. And then we got the TVP V2, Skoda T50, and TVP 5051 getting PBR. So not bad, actually, not bad. They're doing the tier 9, tier 10, and tier 8. So I'm really happy about that. But, yeah, I guess we will see what Wargaming plans on doing with tungsten shells. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.